Can you guys believe that it's the middle of the year? Where did this year go? I feel like it just started. So here we are for the mid-year book freakout tag. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. I am so happy that we get to do this mid-year book freakout tag. I have quite a few books that I am going to be discussing. Some of these, if you are a frequent viewer, is going to be no surprise, but I can't wait to dive into it. Before we do, y'all know, make sure that you like and subscribe, help the community out. Let's build this beautiful book community that we have going on. Also, make sure you check my description box below for 10% off the entire Bookish Box website through my ambassador link using this code that is on your screen. Also, this is a shirt that I got from Bookish Box, and it says, "I've spent my life folded between the pages of books." This is probably 2 or 3 years old, and it is still stood up. I love this shirt. But you can also see all of my other links, like my Patreon, Pingo Books account, all of my socials, and all the books that I am going to mention in this video will be linked below with my Amazon affiliate links if you want to purchase any of them. So let's get into the questions. The first question is best book I have read so far, and I can't deny there were so many books that I wanted to list here. So I just picked one that has stuck with me, one that isn't necessarily better than all the other books that I have read this year that I would fit into this category, but one that I really love nonetheless, and that is Emmy and the Tudor King by Natalie Murray. This book, you are following Emmy where she is about to graduate high school, gets a ring, she buys it at a garage sale with her neighbor next door, falls asleep with it, ends up in 1580 Tudor England. The story goes from there. This is a alternate history, like what if Queen Elizabeth I had a son? What if he was the king? I really enjoyed this. This book is YA because, you know, of course, she's still a teenager, but at the same time, there's no spice. If there is any romance, it's more like a Few Kisses or a Fade to Black or a Closed Door. So if you're not really wanting a spicy book, this would be a great one for you. It is a fantasy romance. It is wonderful. Our girl trying to navigate the Tudor court, trying to survive. I had such a good time. I was giddy the whole time. I loved every aspect of this story. Maybe that's because I love Tudor England. Maybe that's because I'm a huge medieval Renaissance type reader. I don't know, but this book came out of absolute nowhere and it has sat with me ever since I read it. I love everything about it. Of course, it was 5 stars, but there were so many other books that I put in other categories that would have fit into this one. So far, as of June 22nd, whenever I am filming this, this is my favorite book so far this year. Question number 2 is favorite sequel I have read so far this year, and there were so many I could put in here. There were so many I could put into any one of these questions, so I just put 2. First, we have To Ashes and Dust by Luna Laurier, book 2 in the Of Shadow and Moonlight series. It is a new adult paranormal romance. There is spice, there is a mystery, there is a dark, sinister thing going on that they're trying to combat. It deals with gods and goddesses and other realms and a little bit of mythology, immortals, reincarnation. It has so many things, you guys. I really loved this. This book shattered me though, okay? It shattered me. I was crying, but I was still begging her to give me more. I don't know what that says. I really love it. Just a brief synopsis of what the book's about. You're following Cassie, where she has a chronic illness where she doesn't have much longer to basically live. So she knows this. She's trying to live her life to the fullest. She goes to college, ends up meeting Damien, and things just start happening. Weird things. The more and more that she's around Damien, she's seeing things that she shouldn't see. Things come out of nowhere. She is kind of thrusted into this world that she never knew about. It's so good. It is so, so good. So if you guys like paranormal romance and you want kind of like a little mixture of a mystery element put in there with some spice, this is a great book to try. So first book is Of Shadow and Moonlight, but this was one of my favorite sequels this year. And then the second one for that question, I don't have a physical copy yet, but that is Blood Feast by Vela Roth. This is book 8 in the Blood Grace series. However, I had no idea that we were going to be getting book 9. I thought that this was going to wrap up Leo and Cassia's story, and it does not, but I'm okay with that because I love this world, love the characters. This is a politically dense fantasy romance where you are following Cassia, who is the bastard daughter of the king, where he wants to kind of renew the oath and the vow that he had with Orthros that has the Hesperines, which are vampiric creatures, but they're peaceful. They don't believe in killing anybody. Cassia and Leo meet. There is politics. There is betrayal. There is court intrigue. There is a beautiful romance. The cast of characters that are around Leo and Cassia, 100% like beautiful. I love all of them. I love Mac and Lyros. I love Rudhira. I love Tendo. I love so many of these characters that if Vela Roth told me that she was going to make this a 30-book series, I'd be here for it. Like, I don't ever want this world to end. So I'm really happy that I got to read book 8, but now I'm desperate for book 9. Obviously, if you want to read a politically dense fantasy romance with a beautiful, expansive world, politics, court intrigue, a beautiful romance, a cast of characters as a found family aspect that you can just sink into and wish that you lived with them, definitely check out the Blood Grace series. Question 3 is new release that I haven't read yet, but I want to, and I have 2 on here that I want to talk about. The first one is Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. This is her newest release. I cannot wait to get to it. I did pre-order the Illumicrate Afterlight Special Edition to go with my other ones, but I also picked up the audiobook during the Audible site-wide sale. I love Ali Hazelwood's writing. I love her romances. I have read every single book that she has published so far, and they're just beautiful, and I love how she can write in different genres. She wrote the adult romance, the STEMinist novels, and then she also has a YA romance, Check and Mate, a paranormal romance, which is Bride. She just announced, I think yesterday, that Deep End, is it Deep End? Is going to be her newest book that is going to be coming out in 2025. I don't feel like there is a limit to Ali Hazelwood. So I can't wait to get to this book. I love the STEMinist novels. I love how she takes what she knows in the field of science, puts it into a contemporary romance, and it's digestible where even if you don't know anything about it, you can sink right into the world. And then the second one for this question is My Dark Beast by Olivia Wildenstein. This is a Sleeping Beauty meets Hades and Persephone. I love Olivia Wildenstein's writing. I love her world building and her cast of characters that she builds. This is her newest release that came out at the end of March. I haven't gotten it yet. I did pick up the audiobook as well because I love my audiobooks. I feel like I can consume them faster than reading, like a 500-page book, but also it allows me to be productive in my life. I can listen to them while I'm at work, cleaning, driving, so I'm able to do what I need to do without having to sit down, get things done. But nonetheless, My Dark Beast, I can't wait. This is a beautiful cover. I can't wait to get to it. I know that I need to get caught up on her House of Beating Wings series. I can't remember what she's calling it, but I've only read book 1, so I need to get on that one. But I want to read this one as well. Okay, question number 4 is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Again, I have 2 of these that I want to mention. Of course, the first one is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent, which is the continuation in the Crowns of Nyaxia series, but this is the first book in the next duology, and I cannot wait to dive into this world again. I think it comes out October or November. So I'm so excited and can't wait to get to it. I haven't really checked on it. I don't know if this deals with the Bloodborne or if it deals with, what's the third one in the series? I can't even remember. I don't know who it deals with. I know that I found out whenever the synopsis came out, but I have forgotten. So apologies. But I can't wait to get to the new Carissa Broadbent book. And then the second one is On Wings of Blood by Briar Bolin. This is a new series set in the same world of Queen of Roses that she had made. I think she said that she upped the time. I think it's coming out in October, I believe. I cannot wait. If you read the 4th and final book in the Blood of a Fae series, which was called Knights of the Goddess, I think, there was like an epilogue or like a little snippet of what On Wings of Blood is going to be about. I'm excited. I cannot wait. I am ready to dive into this. I wish that it was ready now, but I will be patient. But yeah. I can't wait to get to this one as well in October. All right, the 5th question is my biggest disappointment so far this year, and I am so gutted to say what it is. I'm just so sad about it, and that is House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. Listen, you guys, I have a shrine of Sarah J. Maas. I kid you not. Like, there are 4 or 5 bookshelves dedicated to all of her series. I love her writing. I love everything about it. Crescent City series is one of those series that I don't think I'm an urban fantasy reader. I don't think I like an urban fantasy setting very well, but Crescent City was good. I really didn't enjoy House of Sky and Breath, but the ending got me and I was intrigued. So I went in to House of Flame and Shadow with, I guess, some expectations that I had formulated for myself. Whenever we got to here, you didn't get much of what, you were wanting to get. You didn't get a whole lot of, I guess, answers. There was just too much going on in here. I don't like how it ended. I do like one of the characters that really came forth in this book, and I loved their storyline so much. But overall, I didn't feel like this being the wrap up of Hunt and Bryce's story was very well done at all. I read this massive chunker and I was just so disappointed. And it's not that I was disappointed in Sarah J. Maas as a person or anything like that. I was just disappointed in how this story went, and I don't know, it kind of really just threw me off. I don't know if I want to read anymore in this world that she has created. And then the 6th question is my biggest surprise this year. So I'm going to be throwing some wild ones out there. There's 2 books that were my absolute biggest surprise, I think, out of all of the surprises I had this year. The first one is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I did not think, I don't read much thriller, so I'm not someone that can say this was one of the best thrillers ever written. But for me, having only read just a few thrillers, this one really stuck with me. The story was so well done. I was kind of on the edge of my seat. I was like, what is going to happen? What happened to this girl? Why isn't she talking? And then the ending came. I did not expect that ending. I feel like this writing gripped me. I think the audiobook was very well done. Had me gripped from the beginning. I didn't want to stop listening to it. This was one of my biggest surprises because even though I may read a thriller from time to time and I may love them, this one took me on such a wild ride that I am still thinking about it to today. And then, of course, the other one that I want to talk about is Fabric of Our Souls by K.M. Moravoa. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but it's Fabric of Our Souls, and I think it just recently got picked up by a publisher. This is a very dark thriller, mystery, romance. There's a lot of genres in here. I didn't really like it for the first 60 to 70 pages. I kind of was like, what is happening? What is going on? However, once you got to like 80 pages in, 90 pages in, this story went from like a very dark and disturbed romance to a whole new level. Like it came to a mystery, a thriller. You're trying to unravel secrets. Things are not seeming the way that they're supposed to be. The ending, I cried at the ending. I was like, wow, I really fell for these characters. And it was only like a 260 page book. So it wasn't like a 500 page lengthy in-depth where you get to know the characters a lot. But by the end of this, I was gutted. I was shattered. And then even probably around the 200 page mark, whenever the thriller mystery aspect really comes to a head, I was shook. I was on my feet, pacing my entire apartment reading this. It was so good. So, Fabric of Our Souls, please check trigger warnings before you go into it, but it was really, really good. Okay, and then number 7 is New to Me authors of the year, and I have 2 of them. I mean, there's so many, you guys, but I picked 2. I kept myself from doing that. The first one is Briar Boleyn, and I read her entire 4-book series of Blood of a Fae, the first book being Queen of Roses. I found these on NetGalley. I devoured them all in the month of April and May. I couldn't stop reading them. It is a Fae fantasy romance with an Arthurian reimagining. You start out with one thing, and then by the 4th book, it is an entirely different setting and an entirely different thing than what you thought it started out as. I loved it. I feel like Briar Boleyn, she is so sweet, and I've been talking to her on Instagram and in her Street Team Facebook. She is beautiful. I love everything about her. She has some special editions coming out. I can't wait to own them, but I'm definitely a Briar Boleyn fan. And then, of course, I couldn't answer this question without talking about the book that took me out of book slump, made me, really love fantasy romances again, really want to dive into those worlds, and that is The Other Side of the Mirror by Dana Evan. Dana Evan is a genius. I don't know what she did. I don't know how she created this world. I don't know what she sprinkled into my Kindle that made me absolutely devour this book, but I found it on NetGalley. In March, I was kind of going through a little bit of a book slump. I didn't know what I was wanting to read. Nothing was connecting to me. I didn't even want to pick up a book. Started reading The Other Side of the Mirror. I read it in 2 days. I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop reading it. I couldn't stop ranting about it. I was laughing. I was giggling. I was gasping. I was on the verge of tears. There were so many emotions going on, all because of this book. This is a Fae fantasy romance that kind of has an urban setting at first, but then we go to the realm and there's like a prophecy. There's a fairy tale. What if the fairy tale was a lie? What if, a lot of things happen. Check trigger warnings because there are a little bit of dark themes in here, so just to warn you, but I can't talk about one of my new favorite authors without talking about Dana Evan, who really changed my life at the end of March. Number 8 is Newest Fictional Crush, which this is a recent read, so none of you have really heard me talk about my review yet because I just read it this month, but my newest fictional crush is Tomas from Princess of Air by Natalie Camarata. This guy is everything. Okay, I still think about him. I still want to be in that world. I loved it so much that I immediately messaged her on Instagram saying how much I loved it because I read the art of it, and then I purchased a signed hardback copy. That's gonna be coming any day now. I can't stop thinking about Tomas. Okay, he's perfect. He is brilliant. He is one of those groveling characters. I love this guy so much. So Tomas has my heart at the moment. And then question number 9 and 10 are actually going to be about the same book. So we're going to talk about them together. Question number 9 is newest favorite character. And then question number 10 is book that made you cry. So let's talk about it. A Thousand Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. This book made me bawl my eyes out. I was hysterical. I was just a mess by the end of it. But my favorite character in here is Rune. Rune really has stayed with me because he not only like was there for Poppy, but like, you know, it's hard to say. If you haven't read this, then you don't understand. But everything that Rune did from page 1 all the way to the very ending was just beautiful. I feel like his character was well developed. You saw him go through a lot of different changes throughout the book. You saw his character development. Rune is just beautiful. I wish I had him as a friend. I wish that, you know, he could be with my inner circle and I could just talk to him every day. But this book shattered me in all the best ways. I still think about this book. I actually purchased a special edition of this book that came out of Bell Book Box, I believe. So you'll be seeing that in my unboxing. But I can't stop thinking about Rune or this book. And a book that made me happy, which is kind of ironic because happy is in the title, but it did make me happy, and that is My Happy Marriage. I loved this manga series. I know there's still more books to come out of it. I even watched the Netflix series that came out, which is like only 1 season. This book is just beautiful. The artwork, the storyline, the characters, everything about it, it just made me smile. It made me giddy. It made me want to keep reading. I was just like, I can't get enough of these characters. So this book made me happy. I think about it all the time. I smile whenever I think about it. It's just so beautiful. So My Happy Marriage definitely is one of the books so far this year that has made me happy. Question number 12 is most beautiful book that I have bought or been gifted to me this year. And as much as I get so many beautiful editions from my book boxes or ones that I purchase myself, I have a set that I purchased from Acrylopix. I'll put their Instagram right here. They do a lot of different series, but they have a Throne of Glass series, and I'm going to pick you up and show you. I'm not going to pull all the books out and everything because there is just so, like, it's tight in my bookcase. But I'm going to show you just the sprayed edges, and it's just beautiful. So here we go. Weren't those so gorgeous? I love them. I mean, they even have their custom dust jackets on there that are even beautiful. The spines match the sprayed edges, so you can have them either way you want. It's just a beautiful set, and they were kind of a hefty price, but I don't regret it. The 13th and final question are books that I need to read before the end of the year. There's so many of them. Like, I could just say my entire TBR, but that is just literally impossible. So I picked 4 books that I want to read by the end of the year. The first one is called Heavenly Bodies by Amani Ariu. I don't know how to say the name. I apologize. This book, I think, just got picked up to be traditionally published as well, but this is the indie version, and I've heard a lot of people talking about this series. I don't really know much about it. I know that it's like a celestial fantasy romance, and I'm all here for that. So I really want to get to this one before the end of the year. The next one is another one that just got picked up by a publisher, but that is Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. This is the indie paperback that is no longer available. I want to get to this. I have heard the found family is great, the dragons are great, the story is great, so I really cannot wait to get to this book. I have heard nothing but so many rave good reviews about it that I am just desperate to know what's happening. The other book that I want to get to this year before the end of the year is The Crown of Oaths and Curses by J. Bree. I have heard this book is like the true definition of enemies to lovers, and I'm here for that. I am here for the fated mates. I'm here for the witches and the fae. I'm here for all of it. However, I'm really intrigued because Throne of Honor and Blood just came out. And I have heard like the formatting is terrible. The, story just kind of wasn't the same story. And so I'm like, I really want to know what's happening. So I really want to get to this before the end of the year. And then the final book that I'm at least going to talk about here that I want to get to by the end of the year, which, like I said, I could say my entire TBR, but this is probably the most hyped fantasy romance right now. Like, I feel like we're in another Fourth Wing era. I feel like we are. And that is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. This did get picked up by a traditional publisher. It did get reprinted just recently. This is the indie paperback, so I don't know how much is going to be different from this version to the traditionally published one, but this is like creating an entire like mass hysteria again. Like, what is happening? And it deals with dragons, but I heard that the way that the dragons are put into this world is just beautiful and very well done. I cannot wait to get to this book. Again, I've heard nothing but amazing reviews about it, and I need to know what the hype's about. Okay, everyone, that is my mid-year book freakout tag. Of course, I could have added so many more books. We could have been on here for hours talking about my favorites, my favorite new authors, my favorite sequels, books I want to read, just so many different things. But I had to limit myself, so this video wasn't going to be like ridiculously long. So let me know in the comments below, are any of these books on your mid-year freakout tag? Let me know what your biggest surprise was, or who your new favorite author is this year, like new to you or a debut author. I love to know your feedback, and if you've made it this far into the video, please make sure that you put a book emoji in the comments. Let me know that you are still here. Anyway, everyone, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you take away maybe some new recommendations that you might try. Also, please make sure that you join us up on Patreon, where we are having so much fun. We have a brand new book that's going to be coming out in July for our new book club, and it's just a whole lot of fun in there. So hope you guys join us over there, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!